afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. It's Alyssa Corum here, and I'm joined by Ed Carson on this Wednesday, and it was a solid day on Wall Street. We're going to be taking a look at a couple of breakouts and another stock with some wild action today, Ed.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Ali. We're going to take a look at Monolithic Power Systems, as well as Tenable, which is a new cybersecurity company that's just popped onto our radar. Meanwhile, Garmin sort of lost its way after breaking out initially.
Yeah. All right. Well, first, let's take a look at the major indexes. Like I said, it was a pretty solid day on Wall Street. The Nasdaq leading the gains, up about 1.5%. The S&P 500 up 1.2%. The Dow up 0.6%. So, as we've said, we've been kind of remaining in this trading range here, which is not at all a bad thing, Ed.
Not at all. And we had a lot of different headlines that could have gone badly for the market. There was tons of earnings, which is just going to keep continuing tonight and tomorrow. We had the Fed meeting, which was generally positive, and a big antitrust hearing for Apple, Facebook, Google, and Amazon, all of them which have earnings tomorrow. But that antitrust hearing seems to have gone smoothly. This was great. The major averages sort of rose. They sort of trotted while the leading stocks ran in many cases. And that's really ideal. If you can see modest gains so we don't overheat, but you still see the leading stocks outperforming, that's just a great situation for a rally going forward.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at some of those notable breakouts today, starting off with MPWR, Monolithic Power in the semiconductor space, breaking out of one of the more rare patterns that we have, and that is the ascending base. A gain today of about 6.6% here with this earnings beat, and that relative strength line also hitting a new high, confirming the move. This is pretty picture perfect here, one would say.
Yeah,
one might say.
You might say it's one of the hottest groups. It's one of the data center chips, along with AMD, NVIDIA, Infi. And so this one may not be as well known, but it's been doing very well the entire time. Earnings growth wasn't tremendous, but earnings and sales growth have both accelerated for the last 3 quarters. So with that and the breakout, that's why we made it IBD stock of the day.
Yeah, it's looking good here. And just a little bit more on this ascending base. It's kind of in the name, but we have these 3 pullbacks here. Of course, this little thing keeps popping up as soon as I point at it with my mouse, but you have the 3 pullbacks, each with higher highs and higher lows. Looks kind of like a stair-stepping pattern here, a very bullish pattern at that. So make sure you head to investors.com to read that stock of the day story for more details on that. And elsewhere, let's take a look at Tenable, TENB, a powerful breakout here for the software security stock, up almost 18% on its quarterly earnings report, Ed.
Yeah, and this was the first time it's ever had earnings. So this one really, it surprised people. It's gapped higher. Obviously, we know that security software has been doing really well, but this one really has been sort of sitting out. Actually, if you could go to a weekly chart, you can sort of see how the stock really hasn't done anything up until this point. So there could be a little bit, we talked about this on IBD Live. And one thing is that, well, yes, we had a prior uptrend, it broke out, you could definitely buy it, or you could have bought it as it was breaking out. But maybe you want to wait one more time, wait for one more base to show up to see if it can really prove itself, like, set up again, maybe another earnings report out there, just to make sure that it's going well. But, this may be sort of a quasi game changer for this stock after a long sort of, so-so run.
Slumber. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep tabs on that one. And we also, last but not least, want to check in on Garmin, which is known for its GPS, but like you said, seemed to have lost its way a little bit today with some wild action after its earnings report. It closed the day fractionally lower, down about 0.6%. But let's go ahead and check in on the intraday chart here, I guess, just to underscore how wild that action was and a telltale clue for investors when it comes to that post-earnings action.
Yeah, I mean, it basically opened at its high of the day, then came right down. And this is why it's tempting to buy. Oh, there's good earnings. Hey, it's great. I want to buy it. But it's usually a good idea to wait at least 5 minutes and sometimes even wait to see if it can clear the first hour high before you step in and make a big purchase, because this can happen. This stock fell basically like 8% from that high in just a few minutes. And, would have been a really tough situation. Yeah, it came back somewhat, but we don't know where it's going to go. Usually you're better off, yes, sometimes the stock will keep on running and sometimes you might miss it or you have to pay a higher price. But, you're you're going to avoid situations like this where the stock just completely turns around on you.
Yeah, because as we know, these earnings reports do carry a lot of risk. So it's very important, as we've been harping on, have that battle plan, make sure you know what you're doing. And even if you do see a breakout, look at those intraday charts. They can definitely give you an edge. And it's a big earnings week, so there will be plenty more to talk about tomorrow morning on IBD Live. That's our daily morning live stream, where our experts share their screens, talk about notable stocks of the day, and we have breakouts aplenty and new stocks that are coming on our radar all the time to discuss, which is also fun.
Yeah, I'm almost not looking forward to hosting it because we had a record long show today. It's so hard. There were so many stocks to talk about, so many great questions, and we really try to get to as many as we can because, you know, we're all interested in this market right now as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, we hope you join us over at investors.com/IBD Live. But that's it for today. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.